All right, so it looks like there's 8 of us. I'm gonna go ahead and just mute everybody for the time being. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute and
Oh, I just want to say one thing, just 'cause it's still on my mind. If anyone has not watched Ted's class on Realtors Property Resource, please do it. That is the coolest thing ever. I was so pumped last night. You have no idea of sending some information to a buyer that I'm trying to stay in touch with. It's so cool. I looked up Yardley and like, I live in Yardley, so I was like, I wonder what they say about Yardley, and I looked it up, and like the intricate details, it's just cool. It's just cool. So just look at it.
What is it called, Monica? What's it called?
It's Realtors Property Resource, and Ted did a class on it, I think last week or so. I wasn't able to attend, so I watched it last night. It's very detailed information that you can send to your clients that kind of pulls from like, what was it? It pulls from like MLS, probably
public records, census, surveys, like everything.
Nice.
It's
like for Yardley, for example, it's like most people in Yardley enjoy landscaping and da-da-da. Like it went to such detailed information on the
Just a recording on KW YouTube.
no, it's on my personal page.
Your Facebook page?
Yeah, no. My personal webpage right here. Here's the link.
Oh, okay.
EFLteamPA.com.
It's cool. Like, if you're someone who doesn't know an area or you don't know much about the area, you can learn so much and look like you actually know what you're saying. I love it.
Yeah. So when you come onto my site, you just go down to the More tab and go to agent classes.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to throw that out.
Wait. Let me take a picture of this real quick.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay.
Wait, let me get a snap.
So just real quick,
because I love it.
When you click on that link, it's going to ask you for a username and password. All you're going to have to do is just create an account. And the reason I did that is because I just don't want random people getting access to my all my notes and stuff. So just create an account. It'll send you an email, verify, and then I also put all my notes from
awesome.
Our
Thank you
classes,
so much.
all the classes that I've done and PowerPoint presentations, and here's some of the reports, what they look like on RPR, all my classes from notes from all the classes at the office and stuff, so you can download those as well. But all right, so Remine. Remine, to get to Remine, you will go through Bright MLS. Okay, so when you trying to figure out how to mute. My controls won't pop up. Okay. I've muted everybody, so if you need to ask questions, unmute, and then if you could just stay on mute so there's no background noise. So you'll log into Bright. You come over to this search tab here. And at the bottom, you'll see the free add-ons, right? So we'll click on Remine Pro. After this point, if you want, you can bookmark Remine on your own, which I do as well. I keep it as my own personal favorite bookmark. So you come in to Remine and you have your dashboard. So on your dashboard, you can add different cards for what kind of information you need on your dashboard, right? So you have your listings from the office. I have it set to active listings, but if you wanted all listings active under contract, what have closed, what is coming soon. Bear with, the internet connection has been horrible these last couple of weeks, but you can set what information is on this particular card, right? I always just leave it on active. If you wanted to add a new card, you would click add a new card. What kind of card do you want, right? And then you would click it to add a new card. But I have the majority of them that I like on here anyway. So our market pulse is going to give you a snapshot of the area, just a kind of quick, how many are active, how many have been canceled, closed, coming soon, so on and so forth, so that you can kind of see what the market has been over the last 30 days. Now these drop-down menus here, you can change your zip code. If you wanted to go to 19054, you can change the market snap or the market pulse for that area as well. If you wanted to change it to the last 7 days, what has happened, you can have the pulse on what happened in that area for the last 7 days. Again, because I live in the 19021, I kind of leave it at that, but you have the ability to change or add multiple cards if needed. I like to see what the snapshot has been over the last month of my home area. Listing updates as well, same thing. You can pick your zip code. What kind of listings are coming onto the market over the last 30 days, over the last 7 days, over the last 24 hours. Again, I like to leave it at everything at 30 days. You can change them as needed. And you can have, Remine has an app as well. So you can pull up the app and just have those market snapshots on your phone if you don't have access to your computer. Engagement is being able to track a potential gross income based off of your contacts that are added and looking around and buying. I don't really use this. I have my contacts, some of my contacts from my sphere added in here. And I had 2 people invited just to kind of test it out and check it. But those people that register, you can have direct messaging and chats with them. So I was just testing this out with my girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh, just another way to get a hold of you, yay!" So that comes through on your computer and your cell phone app. So if somebody that is a contact messages you, it will come up as like an instant message on your phone, like a regular text message, which is cool. Over in this top corner here, you have the current your area, AccuWeather. You can change the zip code again if you're working from the Poconos over the course of a week. If you just want to know what the weather is up there. So yeah, that's the dashboard in an overview. Like I said, you can add as many cards as you want. Start chats with anybody that you have listed as a contact. But yeah, it's just a helpful little overview of what is going on in that market. The meat and potatoes of this program is the search section. So when we get into the search section, it's going to take you into a map, right? So this map is going to come up with a bunch of little blue dots with numbers in them. And this is telling you how many properties are in these areas. And you can zoom down to an individual property in any given area, right? So if you wanted to look in this area here, you would just zoom in. And it's going to show you how many properties are in this particular development here, right? We're zooming in even further. And around St. Mary Children's Health Center, there's, it's saying 170 some properties here. And now each one of these blue dots is a property. So you could click on this property and see what it is that this blue dot is associated with. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot property here. It looks like it might even be a commercial property here. You can draw your own if you only wanted to do certain streets. You wanted to do this neighborhood as a particular farm, right? It's going to now highlight this area for you only and nothing else, so that if you wanted to do direct mailers to everything within this couple of block radius, you would now be able to add all these people to your cart and create mailers for them. You see that there's 90 results right here for this, or you were doing an open house for this particular property here. You wanted to add everything else around it, or this house here and all these other properties, you wanted them to come see the open house. You could then select all the properties, add them to your cart, and create a mailer. And we'll go over that step shortly, but I want to go over the map first and what you can and can't do with it. So all your filters are going to be listed right here. You have 90 properties that you currently have selected. If you wanted to clear the results, you can now clear everything that you've done on the map, right? So it's going to go back to all the properties because you cleared all the filters. If you wanted to sort by square, you could do it by square. If you wanted to do a radius, again, coming back to, you have an open house in this area and you want to do a certain amount, you click on that circle, drag, and it's going to give you a radius from that property. You can see, again, 63 results just inside this little circle here. But here's where it gets really awesome. Zooming out, right, you have thousands of properties that are now going to show up. and you want to be specific as to the type of person that you're reaching out to. Over here in this corner, you'll see the layers, right? So out of these 16,000 results that are in my current map view, I want to specify what person I'm targeting, right? So all these individual layers are just additional filters, okay? So if you wanted to sort by what the property values are worth, you can do property value, right? Let's say we're targeting potential property values of between $500,000 and $750,000. You could click that and click apply. And now that 16,000 results comes down to 196 results. 196 of those 16,000 properties now fall within that price range, right? Now you can start to refine in on that even more if you wanted to if you wanted to see how much equity they had, you could, let's refine by equity. I'll get into what each of these do. Let me just clear these filters so I can show you with a broader search range, right? So 16,000 results. We want to target people that may have a potential to move, right? So let's say they've owned this property for at least a minimum of 7 years, right? So instead of selecting one of these preset filters, we're just going to put the minimum of 7 years and not even fill in a maximum, right? So they've owned this property for at least 7 years. That brings us down to 12,000 people, right? If you wanted to refine that more and put the minimum to 11 years, you can do 11. It's going to automatically change that based off of 11, bringing it down another 1,000. Cell score, right? I'm scrolling down here and we have cell score. So the way that cell score works is high probability are potential clients with the interest to sell their house in less than 6 months. Medium is anybody from 6 months to 1 year, and low is anybody after a year with the potential of potential probability of wanting to sell their property. This is how it's explained from the people of Remine and Bright. So we'll say high probability, right? Less than 6 months, and apply. We go from 11,000 down to 379. Now we're starting to hone in on a very specific category of person. They've owned their house for at least 11 years. They are very high potential to want to sell based off of the computer's algorithms, right? We can scroll down here even further. Let's go to how long have they had their mortgage, right? So now we want people that have owned their house for at least 11 years and haven't made any changes to their mortgage in at least, let's say 5-7 years, no refinances or anything like that. Now we've cut that 300 down in half again, right? Now we're into 165 results out of this entire map view. So now you can see we're getting to a price point where sending out mailers are becoming a lot more financially available for us on smaller scale. Those of you who have much more income coming in and a higher business, you want to do, a couple thousand mailers at a time, you're more than welcome. You can look up distressed. These are 3 new categories for cash buyers, commercial location score, and what was this, rent prediction model. I haven't really dove into those yet to see exactly what they do. I can look into that and get back to you, but these are the main filters that you want to use, right? Are they in a flood zone? If you don't want to deal with people in a flood zone, low score, apply. It's going to take those people that are in potential flood areas out. This 164 is none. If you only want to deal with single family residents, single family homes, we'll add that on here as well. You're interested in, now we're down to 52 results because the others might have been twins or multi family units. Now we're looking at just the single family houses. Status, right? Let's go to status and do off market, because we don't want to poach anybody that is currently active, right? So now you're off market. We bring that's 5 of them that may have already been listed with somebody else, right? We don't want to send a mailer and try and steal other people's business. So we're making sure that these houses are currently off the market, right? Now we have 51 results. So at this point, if you wanted to create mailers, you would have to add these people to a cart, right? So these 51 properties that are currently available that you want to send the mailer to, you would select them and you want to add them to the cart, right? So after you have your narrowed search criteria down, and if you wanted to get even more specific, you can come into this advanced section and fine tune. Are you looking for a certain amount of bedrooms and bathrooms? You know, whatever you want to make this even more refined, you know, you're more than welcome to change this around, right? If you're looking for a specific street, you know, all your filters are here, get it the way that you want, add particular fields. I'm gonna come back out to the page we were at, right? So now we're down to 51 properties, select, add to cart. It's gonna ask for a name of this, what are we gonna call this, right? This is just demo class. Do I want to create this and add the 51 properties to that list? Yes. 51 properties have been added to the demo class list, right? Carts, demo class, right? This is now the list that we've created. So all of these properties are now added onto our list, right? If you want, you can click all the properties. We can export, send mailers, print mailing labels, right? If you wanted to print mailing labels, we want to do either property owner or current resident. We want it to go to the property owner based off of public records, right? So the property's address or the mailing address. Mailing address is going to go to the physical address. Property address will go to the owner. In the event that you select a filter for absentee out of state, you want to make sure that the owner is the one that's getting the postcard, right? They may own a property here in Pennsylvania but live in Florida. You want to make sure that that postcard, hey, now's the time to sell, is going to the owner, right? So I always do property owner, property address. The typical Avery 5160 label is the typical label for printers, right? So if you click print labels, it's going to bring up the PDF. Now you can print them on a label if you want to mail them out on your own, or you can just print this out for your own reference and send handwritten cards, right? But the more filters that you apply and the less that number gets down, you may have a very specific set of people that may only have less than a dozen, right? That are high quality, own their properties for a long period of time, haven't touched their mortgage, have a lot of equity, aren't in a flood zone, single family residence. This is 12 people now. How hard is it for you to write out 12 cards and hand write an envelope, hand stamp, right? Handwritten letter, and just mail it to these people, right? So now you print this out and you can put this in a binder, right? This is farm, very specific farm, 12 client, you know, handwritten notes. Put that in your binder, and now you can refer back to this. Okay, I need to send out again to these 12 people. You have that list ready to go. You have their names, you have their address. You can print them out if you want, but if it's very minimal, handwrite the note, make it personalized, take the time to establish that relationship with your potential clients, right? So the labels are available to be printed out. You can also export this list to a Excel spreadsheet, or if you want to send and create mailers right here in the program itself, you can do that as well. So what we'll do next is click on Send Mailers. Name your project because it's taking you to Rocket Mail. So now you name the class, you click, it's going to take you to the next website. It's submitting all of those properties and information to Rocket Mail for you to now be able to create your postcards, your mailers, and get everything ready the way that you want to do, right? So you're doing an open house in the area. This is what a particular card would look like. You can look from this drop-down menu here. If you want to do 4 1/4 by 6, 6 by 8.5 inch postcards, you want to do 6 by 11. If you want to do letters, you can do letters. If you want to do yellow letters that looks like it's on a sheet of legal paper. And if you want to do snap aparts, you ever get those in the mail and it looks like you're getting a check? I sent out a couple mailers like this just as a test to see, and I put down, this could be your down payment, X amount of money for your house. If you're interested in selling, let me know. You can see the price will reflect based off of the particular postcard or what it is you're going to design. Now this includes the creation and first class mail if it's a first class mail item, such as a postcard. If it's a letter, it may not be first class. The snap aparts may not be first class. It will give you a timeline as to when you can expect those letters to go out. So what you want to do first is choose a design, right? So you come down to the bottom. If we're doing postcards, we'll click on the postcards. It's going to take us to what kind of postcard we want to design, right? We want absentee owner. Do we want to, target somebody that lives out of state? Do we want to do just listeds? Do we want to do targeting towards a renter, open houses, or even upload your own artwork, right? You create a design that you really enjoy and you like from Designs in Command, and you want to now use that as a part of your marketing, your branding. You can do that here as well. Just be careful that you get the specific measurements of the design that you need to create, because I have seen people create something that they liked in design, they uploaded it here and then tried to mail it out, and it didn't line up properly. So make sure that before you upload it, you know what the size of the postcard is, the 4 by 6 and 4 1/4 by 6 or whatever it is, right? So for this purposes, we'll do general farming. And it will give you a different amount of designs that you can choose from, right? It's not just that one generic layout. You get multiple ones to choose from. So you find what one best suits the way that you want your branding to go. And then when you select to customize this, it's going to ask you what agency you work for. So we're going to click personalize now. We're going to come down to, again, we want it to go to the property address, the homeowner's name or current resident. Again, I'm doing the homeowner's name. You're going to come down here and find Keller Williams color scheme, and it's going to update your postcards to the Keller Williams color scheme. If you didn't want to use this color scheme and you wanted to use red and black, you can do red and black if you want. Whatever works best for the way that you want to do your marketing, and it will update what the postcard will look like front and back. This is the red and black. I don't really see very much black on here. So Keller Williams is red and gray. You'll probably see these turn gray maybe, or no, red, and then just darker color gray over here, right? So you can see what the postcard will look like. You can change all your logos, your information, add in a particular photo of yourself, and you're just going to walk through the steps of designing this postcard. It's pretty straightforward. Once you have designs already uploaded, you can, they'll save here. As you go through, fill in your information, your title or license number. If you want to change your photographs and use something else as opposed to these stock ones, you can do that as well. Refreshing the preview should add in my logos. Right, you can see everything adds in. So this may not be good for this particular layout. I think the last one I did, it was a circle where this fit perfectly in the circle. If you want to put your app link on here, text, this code, whatever, to 87778 to download more information. You know, you can get creative, however you want to see these outlined. Going to continue. We recommend, see, there you go. It's going to give you, this is what we're recommending that you use for your logo or your profile picture. Here's the back, right? You can now change what this paragraph says. If you want to change what you can do for them.
Ed, I got a question.
Sure.
When when these different design things, and not just this, but command and everything else, when they say you need to have a certain size, how is it that you figure out like how to make it that size? Like where?
I mean, we would have to, you're using a PC, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would either go into Paint, and you can do it right at the top on the top bar. When you open the image, it'll say resize on the top of the bar. And then you type in literally the pixels that it asks or tells you that you should suggested to use. You would type in 525 by 525 and it would automatically resize the photograph for you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now you can come through, edit, and change any of this information as you see fit that you need to. And then you're just moving along the steps. Right now you're clicking next. This is the labels list that we're going to be using, right? So now next time you come in here to create a farm, you don't have to necessarily create an entire, you want to send another postcard to this same demo class again. When you come in here, you can create the demo list or the card, select that this is the area that I want to send the farm to or send the postcard to. This is my farm. You're going to click next. You can add your own address for receiving a test postcard, right? I always like to add myself for the, what, 50 cents that it costs or 59 cents that it costs, just to see a quality of the pieces that you're sending out. If you need to make changes to your recipients, you can do that. You can add yourself as a recipient. Going along, hang tight. Now what this is going to do is it's going to double check that you don't have any double addresses or double duplicate names. It'll remove those from the list so that you're not wasting an extra 50 to 60 cents on sending out two of them to the same residence. View your proof. It's going to show you what your postcard is going to look like. Make sure that you don't have any spelling errors. I have had people tell me that they've done this and the spelling error came on the end of Remine. If that happens, double check again, adding yourself as a recipient to get that that piece delivered to you so you can double check the quality and spellings on the design itself. The person who had received the spelling error on Remine's end and not on their end when they verified the proof was credited for the cost of the error. So, you know, you now have that credit to come back in and design a new proof, design a new sample and send out to your sphere or your farm. So once you view your proof and make sure everything is okay, it looks good on the front. I like it. Looks good on the back. This is great. You know, has the people's information ready to go. Looks good. I verify that this is correct, and it would be approximately 66 cents per designed postcard. And I got to tell you that the quality of them are pretty good. They come on glossy cardstock. You know, it looks very professional. Kind of on lines with if you get something from somebody in line or in the mail that's, you know, advertising that has a glossy cardstock. Design is approved. Number of recipients. Validated address. It looks like one of those is not. There you go. It's a vacant property, right? So you're only going to be sending out 50 because one of those properties came up in public records as a vacant property. Comes up to $33 to send out 50 postcards. Yeah, doable. You know, you're trying to aim toward high quality leads and not random, you know, people that may not be interested in selling. Add to cart. It would ask for your. I'm not going to go through that because I have my credit card and everything saved in there. But yes, you would now add to cart, verify everything looks good, proceed to payout or checkout, and you would get a confirmation that it has been in the works. It's usually 2 or 3 business days if it's a regular postcard before they get sent to mail out, and then another, you know, first class mail, you know, 2 days. So you're looking within the business week. So if you're doing an open house on a Sunday, you know, the weekend before, have all this ready to go and mailed out prior to the open house if you know that you're doing one, because it does take a couple of days to have it created and a couple of days for it to reach your clientele. But that is, you know, the process of creating. These other filters over here, like I said, you have property value. You can hone in on property value. If you only wanted properties that were over $200,000, you could do it that way. You do not have to select a preset filter and then apply. Okay, so that's property values. Home equity. If you have people that have a desired amount of equity in the home, you can select that or enter that. Ownership time, we've discussed, right? The sell score, low, they're not very eager to sell. They're getting a little heated up, and these people are your highest ability to sell. Absentee. Absentee are for people, you know, corporations, owner occupants, people who own properties and live in the state and rent it out, people that own the properties, live out of state and rent out. You know, now's the time. Maybe people, hey, have you been interested in selling now that the market is kind of, you know, iffy with renters? You know, are you interested in selling your property? There you go. Flood zones, building type, land use. You only want to target residential. Are they a part of Airbnb? Do they have a particular locked-in mortgage rate? This is going to come from the public records, and I'll show you more about how individual properties look in just a moment. The age of the mortgage, again, you do not have to select. You can put in a minimum and apply. The last price that the house sold for, if you're looking for houses in a particular range. And distressed deals, right? If you're working with investors and you want to work, with properties that are in distress, you can certainly do that as well and get those properties mailed over, or you know, send out postcards. I have an investor looking to purchase in the area. If you're interested, please give me a call. You know, sending out postcards to them or even handwritten letters. So that's the filters. Again, you can do advanced searching as well for particular properties. If you wanted to clear the filters, you would clear all filters. You can view in map and in list mode, right? So if you wanted all 16,000 in a list, there you go. You can go page after page. There's 1,632 pages that your little heart's desire can scroll through if so inclined. On the map view, any of these properties that you are interested in looking at more details, right? Or you're doing an open house, you can pull up that particular property. It's not just off market. You can do houses that are active, that have sold, and that's all through that main screen on the search at the top, the status. You would select from the status. So this is the property. This is from public records. You can scroll down to see the map, the key features. This is an absentee owner here. parking, utilities, active mortgage, are they in a flood zone, right? You can go down to valuation of the property. What is the valuation approximate, right? And you can do CMAs and Remine as well. I can show you that in just a moment. But here's a popular one, school districts, right? What school does this house fall under? So again, if you have the app on your phone and you're hosting an open house, you can bring this your house that you're doing the house that you're doing the open house for. You could bring that up on the app, leave that there, and when people are asking what school districts this is, and you're not sure, you know what the elementary school is, what the middle school is, and what the high school is. If you need demographics for the neighborhood, right? Here's an overview of the demographics: the average age, the average income, the property history, transaction in time, what seller, the buyer, the seller, the company that it comes from, the mortgage that is secured through. See all, go back in time. And then here's the value, the associated people with the property. So this may not be 100% accurate. You can check on your end, right? So this particular property is a corporation that owns it, Spirit Master Funding. Right now, at this point, you could copy that and Google Spirit Master Funding LLC and Spirit Master Funding the Third LLC, right? And get their information, possibly get their telephone number. Now, on certain properties, you will have the associated people, and I'll bring one up just to show you. We'll come out to search here. I'll do a 910 New York Avenue. Let's get the property details. When the property pops up, you would again scroll down to the bottom to the associated people. It will tell you who is, according to public records, associated with this property, their names, if they have an email address, and their telephone number, and if they are on the do not call list, right? Now, these may be old, but again, this is giving you one more lead than you had prior to having a person's property address, having their name. You can also search by the person's name as well. So if you know a name, I'm just writing something, right? There's apparently a Michael Sanders in Pennsylvania in Jenkintown, right? So you knew somebody replies to a Facebook ad lead and their name is Joe Smith, and you type in Joe Smith. If they were targeting a Yardley ad, and it shows in here that they live, in Pennsylvania, there's four of them and one's in Pennsylvania, chances are it could possibly be that person, right? It's just another avenue for you to do your detective work to see, right? So then you would click on this property, and now you know that this Michael Sanders has interest in Yardley, moving to Yardley from Jenkintown. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is the person, right? Or that this is the address, but it gives you one more avenue. And if you scroll down here to associated people, and now you see a telephone number or an email address for Michael Sanders, right? If you had an email address here, there's nothing saying that you can't send them an email, right? They may be on a do not call list, but if that email is listed, again, it's just an avenue. It may not necessarily be an updated email. You go to send an email and it comes back saying with delivery error, then, no loss, no foul. But again, you have this as a resource for you to be able to look up information on properties through public record, through the school districts, property history, associated people, the demographics of the neighborhood, all at the touch of the screen. As far as doing a CMA concern, this is probably the quickest. It's not going to be the most accurate, but it is probably the quickest way to get a short CMA that is available to you. It takes literally less than 2 minutes. It will be about 4 or 5 pages long, right? So if there was a property that you were interested in sending a CMA to, you find that property. Once that property is loaded, we would add that to a cart. right? We're going to add that person to the cart. Test CMA. When we come over to the cart, what is this? Is this a, why is this not letting me do this here? Right here, there usually is a CMA. I guess maybe this is not a residential property owned by an LLC. Yeah, it looks like maybe this is a commercial property. But yeah, there will be a button right here for CMA. When you click the CMA, it will automatically ask for the properties in the area. I'll just go back to this 910. To show you how quickly you could do. Again, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's going to give you a vague price range, but it's something if you need something now. Any questions while we're waiting for my slow internet connection to come through?
And I apologize, I don't know if you said this or not. Is there an app that we can download for this, or is it just something for?
No, absolutely. You can have the app and have this right on your phone. So you can, and again, this is included with your dues for your Bright MLS subscription.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is this for realtors only, or, you know, can the public get this as well?
No, so the public can have access to it on you inviting them, right?
Okay.
So I don't know why my internet is not connecting here. I'm going to go back out to the main screen. But when you invite a client, you can add who you want to bring in from your contacts that you have, you know, bring them over. It will send them an email asking them to verify. And then when they open, here's the cool part about this is if you only have an email address and you send this to invite to somebody and they open it up and register, it asks them to claim their property, right? So now they're signing up with their email address and their telephone number. So now you're getting their name, their telephone number, and the property that they're claiming as their own. So you're pulling in more of their information if they decide to go in here and register for an account. So again, kind of cool that it allows you to do that. And then they can kind of search active properties and stuff through Remine as well, and directly invite you to a chat and ask you questions about, hey, I'm interested in a property, you know, just by using Remine as a search. This is different. This is more, in my opinion, useful for creating with the mailers and farming and things of that nature, going back and looking at who's associated with the property. And then you have RPR, which is more geared toward, in my opinion, doing the reports and getting detailed information on specific neighborhoods and micro neighborhoods. And
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, kind of what is the big difference between this, you know, the realtors property resource, and then just us using that MLS? You know what I mean? Like, how can we leverage all of them?
So Remine, again, is more towards creating direct mailers, in my opinion,
Okay.
right? And having that ability to look up associated people, right?
Okay.
If you just have somebody's name that you meet in an open house and you want to try and do the legwork and get their address to mail them out a card because they didn't fill in your sign-in sheet properly or put an address, right? Now you can come in here, you know, they wrote down their email address and they wrote down their name. You can come in here and type in the person's name, go to associated people, see, is that email address similar, right? Is that listed there? Is it joesmith@gmail.com, but they put joesmith@yahoo.com on the sign-in sheet, right? Now you've typed in their name, you've seen somebody in Pennsylvania with the name Joe Smith, you opened it up, it's joesmith@gmail.com. They were trying to get around you. Now you can still send them a thank you card and say, hey, thanks for coming out to my open house. And they're going to be like, how the heck did they know, you know, where I was at, you know?
There's
you
no
know,
hiding.
exactly, right. You can run, but you can't hide. But yeah, so in my opinion, this is geared more towards a quick overview, pulling up something real quickly. RPR, you can do the same and pull things up, pull up reports, but here you have your active listings, market pulse, and this is all on one screen. So you can kind of just scroll down and see what's right then and there. But yeah, for making actual mailers, direct postcards, all that stuff being included on here, and then specific targeting, right? So you're able to do how long have they had their mortgage for, how long have they owned the properties for. RPR is more public record and Bright MLS. Yeah, you can get all this stuff, but not as quickly, right? You're not going to get a whole overview of all these filters on one screen and be able to print out those mailers. You know what I mean? So like, you want to specify that these people have been there for 20 plus years. Out of those 16,000, now we're down to 9,000, right? They've all had their single family residence. They've all had their mortgage for greater than 11 years. Now we're bringing this number down lower and lower and lower. And now you can print out those mailers or print out the labels and either directly mail to them or have all their information to create and get the information for a farm.
Got it. Perfect.
So are there any other questions on anything Remine that you're wondering about?
No, I really like how the filters you can really focus in on what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. This is tailored to individual properties, you know what I mean, that meet this criteria, as opposed to just an entire neighborhood. But again, if you're looking in a specific neighborhood, you can use these tools over here. And I only want to go along Knights Road, right? Down to Woodhaven, up to Street Road and back, right? I only want to target this area. Now it's going to tell me how many people meet that criteria right here, 139, right? And then the more that you fine tune this to what you're targeting, you know, you may get this down to 6 people. And if you know that those are 6 high quality possibility of wanting to sell and get out of the area, or absentee owners or whatever it is that you're targeting, handwrite the letter.
Yeah, you can write a handwritten personal letter. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
So that is it.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
And I may have missed something, and if I did, I apologize. In the very beginning, when you were doing the labels, and you chose property owner, but then you chose property address. If you want to send to the actual owner, wouldn't you choose mailing address?
So from the way that it was explained during the class that I had originally taken a few months back, is that the mailing address, oh yeah, maybe I did explain that wrong. Property address is the physical address. Mailing address is the owner.
Okay, I just want to make sure of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's cool.
thank you.
Yep.
Ted, I've played with the search a lot, but I never played with the daily tab, which I really liked the way you had like all the statistics and everything on there. And I didn't know how to do that. So
Yeah. Add card from the drop down menu. You can even have a Twitter feed on here. If you wanted the feed from your Twitter to pop up on here, you could have that. But yeah, notifications, saved searches, whatever you find yourself using more and more frequently in here, you can have that on your main tab. And then the same thing goes for on the app. When you open up your app, it brings you into your daily dashboard, and you can scroll through all of these cards on the app so that you can have that market pulse, right? You know, finger on the pulse.
right. I see on your listings, you have my office. How did you get to my office?
Well, that's coming through when you log in from your Bright MLS subscription, right? You're already attached from Bright, and that's how I showed everybody to come through, making sure that when you come into the Bright MLS, Bright MLS, you log in, click on search, and then
Okay.
down here, Remine Pro. If this is not showing up, you're just zoomed in too far. See how you can't see it now because I zoomed in? If you can't see these and scroll down, you have to control, scroll out, and reduce your zoom.
Okay.
Or over here, your zoom level. I always keep mine at 90%. If I'm at 100%, I can't see that. So at 90%, I can see everything on the bottom there. Click
Okay.
on there and it's going to automatically bring you into Remine. There you go.
Okay.
And you do have, you know, your profile as well, just like every site. You can come in here, manage your payments, set up your settings. Pro, from what I heard, it was over $500 a month for people to use this prior. And then now that it's a part of your subscription, you know, take advantage of being able to come in here and get the access to the public records and creating your direct mailers. I mean, 60 something cents isn't that bad. For, at least for the quality of the, like I said, I've done quite a few postcards in here, and the quality that comes across is really nice. You know, nice cardstock and nice print.
Now, have you gotten many leads out of these postcards you send out?
Unfortunately not, you know, but that's kind of a part of, you know, mailers and farming in general. You may not necessarily get many, but I also haven't been specifically targeting the same leads over and over again. You know, I always, oh, let me go in and adjust these settings and target these people now. Whereas if maybe you stick with the same people and you keep running the same different postcards to the same people and putting your face front of mind, you know, over and over and over again, you'll probably get more success doing it that way. But I just keep, you know, experimenting and playing around with different designs and neighborhoods and areas, and not staying 100% consistent like we should.
Okay, it's great. Thank you.
Not a problem. Is there any other questions?
I was just going to add that if they're not really quite ready to sell yet, they might take that postcard, put it aside, and then
Absolutely,
in a couple of months give you a call.
I mean, you could even make
I
the
still
joke
think
on the
it's worth
postcard.
it.
If you're not ready now, stick me on the fridge with your magnets and call me
Yeah,
later.
right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, well, that's Remine in a nutshell. If you guys and girls have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will be posting this video up on the website again for reference later on. And thanks for coming.
Great. Thank you very much, Ted.
Good job, Ted. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks, Ted. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.